order situation. Who are these men?
Yesterday, UP police tweets and declares the 5 names. Those who were identified.
Yes.
Exactly 7 to 9 shooters were involved in this whole Umesh Pal shootout, but 5 have been identified. One is Asad, who is the son of gangster A.K.A Ahmed.
Yes.
He is jailed in Sabarmati in Gujarat. And the other one is Asad is the first name. Second is Muhammad Ghulam. Third one is Guddu Islam, Guddu Muslim. And the other one is Sabir. And fifth one is Arman. These 5 names have been identified, but this Vijay was not identified. As
all right, stay on with me, Santosh, because Prashant Kumar, ADG Law and Order, is joining us now. And let's listen in to what he has to say. But before we get that line back on, I have, Santosh, a quick question to you. How has Atiq Ahmed's name come in? Of course, he's been a renowned gangster, infamous for the crimes, but he's also currently in custody. How has his son names been questioned and coming in? How has people related to him getting questioned? What is the Atiq Ahmed link to this murder that had taken place? All right, we'll try and get that line back on with our colleagues. Remember, it's a developing story. We're trying to get as much information verified as possible. But just to give you a background of what Santosh had said and also what ADG Law and Order had been saying. Now, remember what you're looking at, just to remind our viewers, you're looking at February 24th visual in Prayagraj. Umesh Pal walks out with a gunner because clearly he had a threat to life. He was a witness in a murder case of a BSP MLA earlier in 2005. He's walking back home, he gets out of his car. The gunner tries to protect him, an armed gunner of the police, but he's also injured, he falls. Umesh Pal tries to run inside, but it's not 1 or 2. There are at least 6 to 7 men who suddenly charge out of a shop, nearby areas and start to fire. There is another man at the end who tries to throw what looks like a tear gas shell so that the area becomes hazy and smoky and therefore nobody will be able to recognize them. But all of these men were caught on CCTV. Santosh Sharma, my colleague, continues to be with me. Santosh, so I was asking you, how has Atiq Ahmed family's name come into this gangster murder? Atiq, Santosh, go ahead. And remember why I say that this is about politics as well as about tackling crime and law and order is because in Assembly, Yogi Adityanath, the Chief Minister, and former Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav had a huge showdown. Yogi Adityanath alleged all these gangsters were sent by Samajwadi Party. When Akhilesh Yadav protested about it, he said, remember, we will destroy all the mafia. Here's what Yogi Adityanath had said.
कि जिस अतीक अहमद के खिलाफ पीड़ित परिवारों ने मुकदमा दर्ज कराया उसके परिवार के खिलाफ, वो समाजवादी पार्टी के द्वारा पोषित माफिया है और उसकी कमर को तोड़ने का काम हमारी सरकार ने किया है। और फिर मैं कहता हूं इसे हम इस माफिया को मिट्टी में मिला देंगे। सरकार किसी है दखलत में हो, ये माफिया है, इनको मिट्टी में मिलाने का काम करेंगे। अपराधी आप लोग अपराधी दूर कर अपराधी।
All right, so that is that you just heard was how the political showdown part of it. Remember this with regard to Yogi Adityanath projecting himself as a man where law and order has become better, and therefore this is a question on that trademark strategy of Yogi Adityanath. The Uttar Pradesh is safer now with a murder in broad daylight, and therefore this was also a test for the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister to prove that such gangsters will not be allowed. Now this, remember, what we are looking at is the visual of Vijay alias Usman. Usman, according to our reporter, was a name that he had been given, that he had adopted after a while, after he had started to indulge in crimes, but one of the reasons also so he could hide the original Vijay identity, and that's why we are identifying him as Usman. But why is he being called as one of the main shooters is, according to our sources, that he was the one to shoot first, to open fire first, but he was the most difficult to identify. Finally, the Uttar Pradesh police and the STF managed to do so in an encounter taking place. But there is a question. The question is also about why arrests are not taking place and encounter directly. That's likely what the opposition has been asking in the previous encounter as well. And should there be an arrest or try for an arrest than an encounter that directly leads to the killing? But there is an interesting angle coming in all of this. Before I go across to my colleague, Santosh Sharma, who will get us all the latest on this. This is Atiq Ahmed, which is being brought into this specific news as well. Remember, Atiq Ahmed has been a known gangster, but it is one of his men, according to the police sources, that it was his gang shooters who were involved in the murder of Umesh Pal. This is the Special Operation Group, which is the SOG of Uttar Pradesh Police, and the local police of Kaundhiyara, we are being told, who gunned down the shooter in the Umesh Pal murder case. This has happened in Trans-Yamuna pocket area of Prayagraj district after a tip-off was received about him that the shooter is hiding there in this place. In his late 20s, this man, where the encounter had taken place, there was already, as the information coming in, already there was a cash reward on this gangster, on this man. Santosh Sharma joins me now. Santosh, so who all were involved? In the sense, there was Uttar Pradesh Police, SOG, STF, and do tell us about the encounter. When did it take place? The timing of it? What happened?
In early morning, this encounter occurred in Trans Prayagraj area, which falls in the police station, Kaundhiyara police station area. This is the, we can say, the outer area of Prayagraj, where SOG of Prayagraj got a tip from a call which we can say Usman Chaudhary was calling to his close and faithful aide. And he was on a surveillance. The police got that number and he was listening. And after getting that call, they located him in that area, that is the Kaundhiyara area of police station. And there they tried to stop him. But we are getting the story from our sources that the police firstly tried to stop him, and he suddenly opened the fire on police. And during the exchange of fire, he has been gunned down and he got a bullet injury. He brought to a nearest hospital, and after that for further treatment he brought to the Swarup Rani hospital, a big hospital of Prayagraj, where doctor declared him dead. So we can say
yes, here's my added question to it. What is the Atiq Ahmed connection in it? The gangster who's currently lodged in jail has about 70 cases of murder, intimidation to murder, criminal cases against him of assault as well. How has his name now been has cropped in this shootout case in Prayagraj?
Atiq Ahmed is the main shooter. What we can say, Atiq Ahmed's son is named in this Umesh Pal. His name is Asad. The police declared the named criminals, those who has been clearly identified, is one is Asid, who is the Asad, who is the we can say the third son of Atiq Ahmed. Two, Ali and Umar, they are already in jail in Lucknow and Prayagraj. This is the third, Asad, who is studying law, and he was involved in that Umesh Pal murder case. What we got the CCTV footage of that incident, the person who is coming out of the Creta car, and suddenly he opens the fire. As he comes out of the car, he opens fire. He opens fire on Umesh Pal. He is the Asad, and other one is Muhammad Gulam, very close to Ali, who is the first son of Atiq and very close to Atiq Ahmed gang. The second one is Guddu Muslim. Guddu Muslim is a known criminal for Prayagraj police, and we can say for UPSTF also. Everyone knows about Guddu Muslim modus operandi. He is basically he bombards on any incident. He never fired on. He never used a pistol or any revolver for to target his to kill his target. He only uses his bomb, and in the CCTV we can see him as a bombing to give the cover fire, we can say, to his companions in this Umesh Pal shootout.
In the end, that's right. So there is this bomb or a tear gas shell to make that area smoky and hazy too. Thank you so much, Santosh Sharma, for tracking all the latest. He was at the Prayagraj hospital. He's been at the site as well and is giving us an update on what happened. But what is the police saying on it? ADG Law and Order, Prashant Kumar, speaking to India Today Television. Here's what he had to say.
का मुख्यालय से बताया गया था कि घटना में शामिल किसी भी व्यक्ति को बख्शा नहीं जाएगा, सबको कानून के हवाले किया जाएगा। लगातार हमारी टीम में काम कर रही थी और ये शातिरी नामिया बदमाश जो कि हमारे पुलिस वालों पे भी फायर किया था, आज सुबह कौंडियारा क्षेत्र में एक साहसिक मुठभेड़ के दौरान घायल हुआ था और उसके बाद से इसे जब इलाज के दौरान अस्पताल ले जाया गया तो वहां इसकी मृत्यु हुई है। और इसको उस्मान माफिया ने बनाया था और इसके कारण ही इसने जघन्य हत्याकांड में हिस्सा लिया था।
Encounter Bulldozer. This is Yogi Adityanath's brand of justice now in Uttar Pradesh, and also a clear message that Mafia Raj will not be tolerated anymore in the state. But what has happened since Umesh Pal murder case? There have been properties that have been seized, bulldozed, encounter of 2 accused, and importantly, gangster A.K.A Ahmed's son name has also been mentioned as accused number 2. Here's how this case has now been following up, and not just about crime or law and order, but also about the political situation in UP. Here's more on that.
Amid Yogi Adityanath government's bulldozer heat on the Mafia Raj in Uttar Pradesh, shocking revelations have come to the fore in the deadly Prayagraj shootout case. After the homes of gangster-turned ex-Samajwadi Party MP A.K.A Ahmed's aide were razed to the ground in the city of Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh cops have released a wanted list of 5 suspected killers in Umesh Pal murder case. A.K.A Ahmed's son, Asad, has been named as an accused, the number 2 in the case. UP cops also announced a reward of Rs 2.5 lakhs for information leading to the arrest of Asad and other accused. India Today also exclusively accessed image of one Shabir who was seen firing a rifle during the fatal attack on Umesh Pal and 2 of his security personnel. UP police also seized a Creta SUV which belongs to Atik brothers aide Nafiz Ahmed. Nafiz owns the car which was used by the killers to ambush Umesh Pal and was found abandoned near Atik Ahmed's house.
माफिया कोई भी हो, सरकार की जीरो टॉलरेंस की नीति है और उन माफियाओं के खिलाफ मिट्टी में मिलाने का काम उनका हमारी सरकार करेगी, पूरी मजबूती के साथ उनसे निपटने का कार्य करेगी।
Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath's mission to eradicate Mafia Raj in the state has raked a political slugfest.
जो गवाह है उसकी हत्या हो जाए,
with BJP leaders locking horns with Akhilesh Yadav over giving sanctuaries to mafia dons and criminals.
तो शायद किसी की जान बच जाती।
जो अपराध करने वाले होते हैं उनके खिलाफ कार्रवाई करना यह दायित्व सरकार का होता है, पुलिस का होता है। और जो अवैध रूप से अपराधी हों, माफिया हों, अगर कोई उन्होंने कुछ ढांचे खड़े किए हैं तो ढांचे हटने चाहिए, उस पर कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए और एक समाज में अनुकूल संदेश जाए कि अपराधी जो चाहे वो करे और उसे कोई नहीं रोकेगा, यह भ्रम सबके मन से निकल जाना चाहिए।
भारतीय जनता पार्टी को ये बताना चाहिए कि सुरक्षा के समय पर उन्होंने जो जांच की थी वो जिम्मेदारी किसकी थी? इंटेलिजेंस फेलियर है। जान अगर गई है तो पूरी की पूरी भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार की जिम्मेदारी है। और भारतीय जनता पार्टी ये ना भूले, जब उस परिवार से किसी को चुनाव लड़ाना था तो आपने जेल से पर्चा भरवाया था।
Despite attacks by Samajwadi Party, the bulldozers continue to roll in Uttar Pradesh. A 2-story building house in Mau district belonging to gangster-turned-politician Mukhtar Ansari's son was demolished on Saturday. The residence of jailed gangster Mukhtar Ansari's close aide Kamlesh Singh, famously known as Pradhan, was also razed to the ground by Ghazipur administration on Sunday. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, time for a quick commercial break, but when I return, stay on because Rahul Gandhi has reached out, as it appears, a democracy SOS to America and the European Union that democracy is dead in India. Is this a smart strategy or another terrible self-rule? That and more after a very short break.
All successful people worked hard, nothing comes easily.
Sometimes you need to just cross that mental barrier.
Once I come in,
काफी प्रोसेस ओरिएंटेड
stark difference.
मैं जब दोनों मेडल को ले रहा था और मैं बोल रहा था कि दो ही हमारे पास मेडल है इंडिया में और दोनों आज मेरे हाथ में हैं.
The very fact that you're opening the India Today conclave with a session on Olympic sport tells me that we've made progress.
Come May or June, this is most likely going to light up the market back home in India. And you're seeing it first. The Techno Phantom V Fold here in the flesh. And the price has been revealed, and that's really the showstopper. I'll tell you a little bit more about the specs of this device. But in terms of the price, at 79,999, under 80,000 rupees for early adopters. That would be the guys who essentially pre-book it. Just to give you some perspective, the only other fold that we've had on the show and in India is the Samsung Galaxy Fold. Costs, well, an entire bucket load more for a device which is essentially the same form factor. Very different camera module right here. Honestly, when you're holding it, it looks and feels as premium as any other device we've had from the foldable line. Now, we've shown you flip phones, we've shown you rollable phones here as well. And finally, we have a foldable launch here as well. A little bit more about the specs of the phone. You have a 5-lens camera system, a rear camera, a 50 megapixel main camera, 50 megapixel telephoto, a 13 megapixel wide angle and a 32 megapixel front camera, sub-screen, main screen, 16 megapixel camera. Well, obviously this is a foldable, so you can take a selfie like this. And if you don't like that camera, then you can always use this particular camera. And then you also have a camera right here. In terms of charging, it comes with a 5000 mAh battery, 45 watts supercharge. It's a 5G device. And most importantly, it comes with an interface, an OS, which was built for foldables only. 256 or 512 gigs of storage. In terms of the RAM, you can add 9 gigs more of virtual RAM and hope. And we really expect this to be a snappy one. It comes with obviously paddle window, like the flex mode on the Samsung, split screen, all sorts of things on this one device. And of course, it comes with a MediaTek Dimensity 9000 Plus. Now that's different from the Samsung Galaxy Fold, which of course comes with the Snapdragon 8 series chipset. But this is an interesting launch for the Indian market. And come May, April and May, and maybe before that, we will give you exclusive access to this foldable. But first, this is the first time you're seeing this on Tech Today.
Deal. I got the election. I got ATN. I got plenty on my plate.
He's on the floor, Tom.
Explain to me what he's doing.
He's moseying, terrifyingly moseying. It's like if Santa Claus was a hitman.
The makers have released the trailer of 4th season of Succession. The story will showcase Roy siblings' battle against their father Logan, who outmaneuvered them with some sneaky help from Tom.
I need a fire breather. Your help with maths.
You really want me?
I need you.
Mr. Mencken, my most unworthy opponent.
still clinging to your slice of pie.
What are you at now?
1%. Succession will star Jeremy Strong, Kieran Culkin, Sarah Snook, Alexander Skarsgård, and Peter Friedman, among others.
I love you, but you are not serious people.
I have it on good authority. There is a kill list.
Ken, is your head on straight?
We've been schooled by a barbarian that goes by the name Logan Roy.
I mean, he's out of control.
The series will consist 10 episodes and will start streaming on 26th March.
Possibly imagine.
I have some concerns about your old man.
I will sue, and I will go public.
You point your finger at me, I point my finger at you.
We are gonna grind you down, man. We are sand in the gears. I hate you. Do you understand that?
Loud and clear.
Good. Done.
I'm gonna build something bigger, faster, wilder. I want to kill the opposition, cut their throats. We are pirates!
Entertainment Bureau, India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Rahul Gandhi again making headlines, this time after the Cambridge lecture. He was speaking to the Indian Journalists Association and said, as it appeared, that democracy is dead in India. What looked like a democracy SOS to the United States of America and the European Union. Rahul Gandhi accused Prime Minister Modi of defaming India. He was addressing this press conference by the Indian Journalists Association and went on to say that the so-called defenders of democracy are today oblivious that a huge chunk of democratic model in India has fallen apart. He's saying that opposition has a vision in India which is to bring people together. Bharatiya Janata Party, clearly listening carefully to what he had said, and immediately slammed Rahul Gandhi, accused him of betraying India's integrity and sovereignty on foreign soil. Here's what Rahul Gandhi said. Here's how the BJP has slammed him.
So the surprising thing is that the so-called defenders of democracy, which are the United States, European countries, seem to just be oblivious that a huge chunk of the democratic model has come undone, right? Which is a real problem. With regards to, and frankly, the opposition is fighting that battle, right? And it's not just an Indian battle. It's actually a much more important battle. It is a battle for a huge part of the democratic people. How would you react if democracy suddenly disappeared in Europe? Right? You'd be shocked and you'd be like, oh my God, that's a massive blow to democracy. Well, how would you react if something, a structure 3.5 times Europe suddenly went non-democratic? Right? That's happened already. That's not something that is going to happen in the future. That's already happened.
This statement is absolutely a betrayal of the idea of India's sovereignty, unity and integrity. The fact that you seek intervention of a foreign power to intervene in your thriving democracy, the world's largest democracy, is nothing short of betrayal. And this is not the first time Chetty has done this. You remember that he had once appealed to Nicholas Burns that the United States should get involved in Indian democratic matters. We may have our differences, we may have our problems, but we are fiercely independent and we need no imperialistic or foreign powers to intervene in our democracy. In fact, today is a situation that even Britain needs an Indian origin person to guide their democracy.
So here are some of the remarks that Rahul Gandhi made. He said, I can deliver a lecture at the Cambridge or the Harvard, but cannot speak in an Indian university because that's what Prime Minister Modi does not want, that there is no concept of opposition anymore in the Indian Parliament. He went on to say that it's shameful that the Chinese are sitting in Indian territory, but the Indian government does not even allow a discussion on the same in Parliament when we want to raise questions. He then slammed RSS, saying this right-wing organization has a heart of cowardice, and if there's an opportunity ever against India, it would run away if the enemy is stronger. Here's what Rahul Gandhi specifically mentioned.
It is quite strange that an Indian political leader can give a talk in Cambridge University, Harvard University, but he can't give a talk in India, in a university in India. Right? And the reason is that our government simply does not allow any idea of the opposition, any concept of the opposition to be discussed. Same happens in Parliament House when there are important things that we need to speak about, demonetization, GST, the fact that the Chinese are sitting inside our territory. When we try to raise these questions, we're not allowed to raise them in the House. It's a fact. It's shameful, but it's true. उनकी आइडियोलॉजी में ये भी है. If someone is stronger, and the foreign minister of the country is saying it, you imagine he's saying China is stronger than us, so we can't fight with them. Achha, the British were stronger than us, so then we should not have fought with them. How would we ever get independence? How would we ever get independence if we had followed the BJP's principle and the RSS principle that if they're stronger than us, if they're stronger, then we don't fight them out. We would be still ruled by the British. Right? So at the heart of their idea is cowardice. On the other side, we have an ideology of hatred and violence, disrespectful ideology that attacks people because of their ideas. And you must have noticed one thing, and this isn't the nature of the BJP and the RSS. If you noticed a statement of the foreign minister, he said China is much more powerful than us. If China is much more powerful than us, how can I pick a fight with them? Matlab, at the heart of the ideology is cowardice. अगर वो मुझसे कमजोर है तो मैं अपने 5-10 मित्रों के साथ उसको पीट दूंगा, मगर अगर वो आरएसएस वालों से तगड़ा है तो फिर भाग जाते हैं. और सावरकर ने अपनी किताब में लिखा है, अगर आपने पढ़ी हो, जो उनकी किताब है उसमें लिखा कि एक दिन उन्होंने और उनके 5-6 मित्रों ने एक मुसलमान व्यक्ति को पीटा और उस दिन उनको बहुत खुशी हुई. In the media we see anger, hatred, violence. Then we see Bollywood, Aishwarya Rai, Salman Khan, cricket. We see all these things, but we don't see the real issues that the people of India are facing. So that was quite a learning experience for me.
As Indians, we have to support Rahul Gandhi nowadays, and this is what India actually needs. People to come out and speak against the hatred and violence, and trying to include this kind of inclusivity, and trying to get together and build a good India that is built upon like love and care.
The whole speech was absolutely amazing, and Rahul Gandhi ji as a whole, but I would say that what I like about his leadership is that he's fearless and he speaks his mind, and he speaks for the country and the people, and he understands everyone's thoughts, and that's what
brilliant. He connects with the people. For me, that is what matters the most, the connections that he drives with common people, the way he kind of talks to them. Even today in the interactions, he was talking to people, and that I think is the hallmark of a leader, and he kind of completely embraces that.
Many facets of the speech, people impressed with different facets of the speech, and they turned up in big numbers. One has to say over 1,000 people. We were told there were 2,000, close to 2,000 registrations, and a lot of them turned up. Some even were left behind because the hall was jam-packed. Going forward now, on Monday, Rahul Gandhi will be speaking in a committee room in the Parliament to some MPs and Lords and the members of the public, the attendees, and then at a think tank in London, Chatham House. Lavina Tandon for India Today from London.
And that's not all. There's a lot expected that Rahul Gandhi will be a part of today as well. So what you just watched was Lavina Tandon sending us that ground report from London. She's now joining me right now in this live telecast this morning. Lavina, good morning. So my question is, has Rahul Gandhi more plans today? Because our sources are telling us he's likely to speak at the British Parliament today.
6 मार्च को राहुल गांधी पार्लियामेंट में मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट और हाउस ऑफ लॉर्ड्स और कुछ पब्लिक के लोगों के सामने एक बार और अपना वक्तव्य, अपना भाषण देंगे। ये कमेटी रूम में हो रहा है, मेन पार्लियामेंट के फ्लोर पर नहीं है, ये कमेटी रूम में होने वाला है। और साथ ही चैथम हाउस, जो यहाँ बहुत ही जाना माना थिंक टैंक है लंदन का, वहाँ पर भी शाम को 6 मार्च को राहुल गांधी का भाषण है। और यकीनन जिस तरह से अब हर भाषण का जो रिएक्शन होता है उसका खुद विपरीत जो उनको बातें कहनी है वो बातें ज़रूर आगे भी सामने आएंगी, पर भारत पर और भारत सरकार पर ज़ोर शोर से यहाँ प्रहार राहुल गांधी का जारी है।
All right, thank you Lavina for that perspective, and हम आएंगे आपके पास कुछ ही देर में. This is when Rahul Gandhi is going to be speaking at the British Parliament. Likely Lavina will be there tracking all the latest. What does it mean for domestic politics, for what Rahul Gandhi has said already within a span of minutes after he made that speech? It became a huge political showdown. BJP was the first to attack expectedly. Joining me now in this live telecast is Ashutosh Mishra, my colleague. Ashutosh, what does it look like? Because should one see this as a smart strategy appealing to the governments abroad, or is this a self-goal? Because the fact is Congress party here is not winning elections and it's going out and giving out statements that may not connect really. Ashutosh, what is the political showdown that's happening? Tell us.
Well, for now, the word which looks like furious. And who will be furious? Of course, it is the BJP, because everything that Rahul Gandhi is saying is not the first time. He has been saying the same thing on the domestic ground, be it in parliament or even on the street. And now, similar, addressing the diaspora, he's raising time and again the similar issue, and particularly when we are approaching closer to the general elections. So, of course, you see the BJP, the way they fight elections is building up a narrative and then gradually grow over the years. This looks the similar, one idea of the Rahul Gandhi. First, the Bharat Jodo Yatra, where he uniting against the hatred and several other agenda, and now taking on the core issues that every time the questions being asked, where is the opposition? Why they are not asking the question? Why are they not street? Looks like the Rahul Gandhi is now playing a decisive role on the street. Every specific question that he is raising to the government, and of course, every statement that he made, all the pointers that you see what he has spoken in London, of course, he'll be addressing several members of the parliament today in UK. So all the points that he has been raising is against the government. He is questioning the government. and he's questioning, criticizing the government policies. But the interpretation the BJP is now making is, of course, that is another point of narrative making by the BJP is that it is anti-India bashing, it is anti-India speeches that Rahul Gandhi is making. But that's a very common say, that criticizing government and government policy, no matter where it is, it doesn't make anyone anti-national. So clearly what Rahul Gandhi is now pitching upon, just totally ignoring what the BJP has to say. But the point that he is making, and of course you will hear this soon when he start making speeches in the poll-bound states, Karnataka or the Hindi heartland, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, where elections are due later this year. So he is setting a pitch and tone for the poll-bound states. But the point that he's raising, of course, that making BJP furious, and most probably later in the day you'll hear more harsh words from the BJP leaders, of course, because directly what Rahul Gandhi is doing is targeting Prime Minister and his government. So clearly cannot afford BJP when it comes to the image of the Prime Minister and his government.
Keep getting us more reactions on this, Ashutosh Mishra. Thank you very much. For now, the fact remains he can go to Cambridge or British Parliament, but he's not been campaigning as heavily as he should have for the Congress party in election-bound states where the party is losing states one after another. Perhaps that could have been a better focus. Nevertheless, he has spoken. He has maintained his stand against Prime Minister Modi, opposition, and specifically the BJP this time latching on to it. Moving on now, I take you to the state of Tamil Nadu. There was this huge showdown of whether there were migrant workers, specifically from Uttar Pradesh, Bihar or elsewhere, who have been ill-treated in Tamil Nadu. Chief Minister Stalin has spoken up. There were a lot of reactions back and forth. What exactly happened? More in this report.
Tension and political row simmer in Tamil Nadu over allegations of attack on migrant workers who come to the state for livelihood. Allegations by several Bihar netas, including those from Bihar BJP, claim that migrant workers were abused and thrashed on train. The Tamil Nadu police also took cognizance and arrested the accused, who is seen bashing a hapless commuter while abusing him in Tamil. Tamil Nadu government also busted fake news and revealed that fake messages of attack on migrants are being circulated. While Chief Minister Nitish Kumar had expressed concern over news of attacks, Bihar labourers in Tamil Nadu, BJP had hit out at his deputy, Tejasvi Yadav, for attending Stalin's recent birthday bash.
तेजस्वी यादव चार्टर्ड फ्लाइट में बैठकर स्टालिन का जन्मदिन मनाने चेन्नई पहुंचते हैं और केक खाकर वो भी झूठ बोल देते हैं कि बिहारी श्रमिकों के साथ कोई अत्याचार नहीं हुआ। और सारी तस्वीरें गवाह हैं, वहां से लोग जो पलायन करके आ रहे हैं बिहार में वो गवाह हैं।
Several purported videos of alleged crime went viral, and now the Stalin government has staunchly refuted the claims, calling them fake news.
तिरपुर में रहने वाले नॉर्थ इंडियन लेबर्स पर हमला बताया गया है, जो सरासर झूठ है, एक अफवाह है। इन वीडियोस को आप देखकर विश्वास ना करें। इनको शेयर करने वालों पर और हिंसा फैलाने वालों पर कानूनी कार्रवाई की जाएगी।
See, this is being spread by the BJP. BJP wants to do some kind of a nonsense politics. See, 10 days back you would have read in the newspapers that the Tamil workers were attacked by the North Indian workers. The situation is that Tamil workers were beaten up by the North Indian workers, not vice versa.
The DMK government meanwhile booked BJP Tamil Nadu chief K. Annamalai, accusing him of promoting enmity, rumour mongering and inciting violence. The Tamil Nadu BJP has, however, denied the claims of attack but slammed the Stalin government of peddling a decisive narrative.
Mr. Annamalai had said that the Tamil culture don't allow this, and absolutely there is no reason to file a case against him. So it's not only condemnable, it's really surprising.
The allegations and counter-allegations have heated up politics in Bihar and Tamil Nadu. Are anti-social elements out to spoil the law and order in Tamil Nadu by targeting migrant labourers? Or fake news is being deliberately peddled to spoil interstate harmony? With Pramod Madhav in Chennai, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, time for a quick break. I get you some sports news after a very short break. Uttar Pradesh Warriors beat Gujarat Giants by 3 wickets. It was a thriller match in Women Premier League. Grace Harris was declared player of the match as she smashed unbeaten 59 off 26 balls. And we get you the highlights after a very short break. Stay tuned. You're watching India.
Sania Mirza, Indian Muslim girl from Hyderabad. At a time when, you know, there were those who thought there was stereotyping of women. It still is there. Even when you were, you know, wearing your tennis shorts or skirts the first time, there were those who were raising questions. How much of that did affect you at all? Did it at all affect you at any stage, the fact that you were breaking a lot of glass ceilings, a lot of stereotypes?
Honestly, I think I was just living, you know, that I was trying to be as authentic as possible, and you know, that doesn't always go down well with everybody, right? But the fact of the matter is that I was different, you know. I was asked a question a few days ago by a journalist, and they said, when did you realize that you were different? I was always different. I had a different life. I had different schooling. I had my scheduling was different. Everything was different about me. What I ate was different to the other kids. So the thing is that it was always very different. So for me, I wasn't like going on to and stepping on the court and thinking, okay, I'm breaking this glass thing. I was just being myself, and I was being authentic, and I was like, this is what I think, and this is what I think is right, and this is what I think is not right. And I would say it out loud. And I think that it took time for people to get used to that a little bit as well, to have that young girl you know, say and speak her heart, or be opinionated, or whatever it may have been.
You know, because we had these religious clerics, for example, who were saying, you know, we are going to issue fatwas against Sania Mirza for the clothes she wears on the court. You know, she shouldn't be playing tennis. You know, all of that was that just background noise for you?
Actually, you know, I don't think you read my book, but if you read my book, you'll know that a lot of that was actually media noise. That wasn't even true in most cases. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that go behind and just come out in the media in a certain way, the way they have said or not been said. And I think we know that better than anybody, right? So the fact is that I have lived my life under the spotlight since I was 16 years old. It's been 20 years of me being a public person, and you know, I grew up in front of the media. So I mean, it was difficult at times. I will not say that it wasn't hard. I mean, you don't even know the person you are when you're 16, 17, 18, you know, and you're trying to discover yourself when you have so many opinions about you and headlines about you, of the way that you walk, eat, sleep, play, look, you know, so many things. So it did affect me at times. It didn't affect me as much as maybe it would have, because I think I had a very solid backing with my family around me, my friends. I had a very close-knit group and a support system around me. But there were times when I would be very angry. I can think of a couple of times, obviously, and there were times when I thought it was not fair as to why I was being put through that kind of media trial.
It was a cracker of a game at the D.Y. Patil Stadium in Navi Mumbai as the Uttar Pradesh Warriors beat Gujarat Giants by 3 wickets in the Women Premier League. Grace Harris smashing an unbeaten 59 off 26 balls to take her team home. Gujarat Giants won the toss, opted to bat first. They got off to a brisk start as Sabineni Meghna smashed a few boundaries. Harleen Deol made the highest run getter with smashing 46 off 32 balls. Ashley Gardner and Dallin Hemlata later chipped in and took Gujarat to 169 for 6. Now the Warriors didn't have a great start. They lost top 3 batters for just 20. Kiran Navgir hit a half-century and kept the Warriors in the hunt. Kim Garth showed her worth, taking a 5-wicket haul and reducing the Warriors 88 for 6 wickets. Now, Grace Harris was really the show that belonged to, smashing 7 fours, 3 sixes to hand Gujarat their second loss in as many matches. She was declared player of the match for her brilliant performance.
Women's Premier League on fire.
With that, it's a wrap on the first up, but not yet a wrap with me, because after the break, I continue to get you all the latest on India Today television. Hope you're having a great morning. Thank you for staying tuned.
Well, this is an ordinary phone. This is what phones and devices of the future are going to look like. A rollable tech. A proof of concept here at the Lenovo Motorola stand. Of course, we've seen all sorts of foldables on the show, but you can see how that display is rolling right in front of your eyes. And it's happening here with their tablet and keyboard concept as well. I think it's absolutely crazy. We'll get you more on the show about how this tech works. But for now, this is the first look from Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, Lenovo's rollable tech in all its splendor. The Motorola Riser concept that we hope will soon be a reality. What makes this phone really special is the minute you give it a double tap on that side, the rollable display now expands to this. Tap it twice again. And like that, just like magic, it's back to this traditional form. Now, there's a lot of use cases for something like this. I think rollable displays are something which will work in the future. We've seen how foldables are really hotting up as a space, even in India and on tech today. We've seen the Oppo Find N2 Flip and the Samsung Galaxy Flip 4, the Fold. There's all sorts of devices here at the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, but we have this concept phone in the flesh on tech today. There's also a few other things that this phone can do. For instance, if you flick it twice like this, and now it's just, well, the rear camera, and I want to suddenly start using the front camera. There you go, I flick it again, and here's the front camera. And if you notice, when I did that, this display was untouched. It rolled further out there, the camera is revealed, as is the earpiece. You flick it back again, and there you go. Almost seamlessly, very, very smooth output. I think they've done a fantastic job. Given this is a concept phone, we can only hope that the other booths are actually watching this with bated breath and learning a thing or two from Motorola. Look, Motorola got it right with the Razr phones back in the day. They really were the talk of the town with their flip devices. And now, with this, the Riser concept, I think they're on to something special. Obviously, this is just a concept phone. A lot of things will change. For instance, what is this display at the back going to be used for? Because this is also part of this particular device. What kind of cameras will you put in it? What chipset will be in it? All these things would be decided in due course, in due time. But this, for now, double tap and enjoy this concept phone, which really might just be a thing of the future. This literally is Motorola's back to the future moment, and we're really impressed on Tech Today.
powered by Panasonic. Create today, enrich tomorrow. अब इंडिया खेलेगा ग्लोरी के लिए.
Good morning and welcome. Thank you for tuning in to India Today Television. I'm Pooja Shali. Let's begin first with the headlines at the top of 9 a.m. All right, so that's the big story of the day. Rahul sends a democracy SOS to the United States of America and the European Union. Says democracy is dead in India. Opposition not allowed to speak in the parliament. BJP attacks the Congress. Manish Sisodia's CBI custody ends today. What possibly next? Because CBI will be seeking an extension of the custody. Sisodia lawyers will want bail. This, remember, in the liquor excise policy where Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal now attacks Prime Minister Modi and the BJP for vendetta. Meanwhile, ahead of Chhattisgarh elections, Chief Minister of Delhi Arvind Kejriwal, who's also Aam Aadmi Party's national convener, attacks Chief Minister Baghel, saying he and Adani are like cousins. This in a war of who's corrupt between Congress and Aam Aadmi Party that's currently on. Umesh Pal murder case faces another encounter in Uttar Pradesh by the SOG. Vijay A.K.A Usman, one of the main shooters, as is being seen, was shot at, died of his wounds. This, remember, being seen as the encounter justice in Uttar Pradesh. It's a big day today. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh to chair the first top naval meeting. Conference to be held on board INS Vikrant. The meeting will be to review India's maritime security challenges. In some sports news, Uttar Pradesh Warriors beat Gujarat Giants by 3 wickets in a thriller in Women Premier League. Grace Harris smashed unbeaten 59 off 26 balls and was declared player of the match.
It's short, it's pulled.
What Rahul Gandhi said, this, remember, with the United Kingdom's constant attendees right now, with Rahul Gandhi saying that, with Rahul Gandhi again mentioning that India's democracy is dead. So after the Cambridge lecture, now speaking to the Indian Journalists Association, he said that European Union and United States of America are absolutely oblivious. BJP, of course, quickly listening to what he had said and are charging with the Bharat Badnami attack. Here's what BJP Shehzad Poonawala has said about Rahul Gandhi. All right, Shehzad is now joining me as well on the phone line. Shehzad, so you have said this is defaming Bharat. How is it defaming Bharat? He's targeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He's saying that opposition is being charged at. This is not anti-India, is it?
Pooja, that's why I put out all my facts on Twitter. The video shows clearly Rahul Gandhi can abuse PM, he can abuse BJP, but he has sought Western intervention into affairs of India. He's asking for Europe, United States, United Kingdom, and ironically, at a time when we're celebrating 75 years of our independence, this man goes on foreign soil demanding foreign intervention in Indian affairs. An assault on our national sovereignty, on our integrity, and that is not kosher. That is absolutely unacceptable. He's done this before when he had a conversation with Nicholas Burns. You've seen George Soros poke his nose into Indian affairs, and ironically, Bharat, a person of Bharat origin, is actually guiding Britain's democracy, and here a MP of India goes to British soil and says that we want you to intervene into our affairs. That is unacceptable. You can abuse the BJP, you can abuse Prime Minister, you do that anyways on a daily basis. There's absolutely no problem with that. But why would you betray Bharat by saying that you want foreign intervention in our democracy? Pooja, do you think 140 crore Indians aren't capable enough of dealing with their own internal issues? Do you think our democracy is not strong enough to deal with our own internal issues? That we need some Western power?
You're calling this a foreign intervention and foreign validation because as an individual, he can go on a global stage and say what he wishes.
Pooja, did you hear the statement? I wish I didn't have to explain this to you. Please hear the statement of Rahul.
Yes.
He says that why are the Western powers, namely United States and Europe, oblivious to India's dying democracy?
Yes.
And these are the so-called democratic powers. Here, democracy is getting over and they are doing nothing about
Correct.
it. And this is the kind of intervention he's seeking from United States and Europe. Are you all right with European intervention into Indian democracy? Are you okay with intervention of foreign powers into Indian democracy? Tomorrow, does he seek the intervention of China and Pakistan into Indian democracy? I don't think that our sovereignty should be compromised by any individual, no matter how much we may hate each other politically or domestically. That's our domestic issue. But to go on foreign soil and to say that I want you as another country to intervene in my democracy is an assault on the sovereignty. The preamble safeguards our sovereignty, and I hope...
Shehzad, would one call this a smart strategy? That's likely what the Congress supporters may say. Or is this a self-goal that he has done and indulged in again?
I would not even reduce it by saying that it's a self-goal. I think it is nothing short of betrayal. Pooja, you and I may have hundreds of differences, but we sort our differences out within the framework of our democracy. But if tomorrow Pooja starts going and telling the Chinese that, look, come and solve my internal problems, that is betrayal. Rahul Gandhi's utterances, I hope the Congress will have the wisdom to condemn it and to distance themselves, just like George Soros was intervening in our democracy. Rahul Gandhi seeking intervention of a foreign power into our democracy is nothing but an assault on the collective idea of our freedom that we are celebrating 75 years later, and also an assault on our sovereignty.
Shehzad, two quick questions. One, because you've also mentioned the Chinese, he also mentioned the Chinese. He said, when I ask about Chinese on our Indian territory, they don't even let us speak in the parliament. Opposition is dead. They don't let us ask questions. And that's the reason that I can speak at a Cambridge, but I can't speak in an Indian university.
Well, you know, first of all, on the issue of China, there have been hundreds of debates on television studios, but as far as Parliament is concerned, the rules of Parliament do not permit ongoing national security issues to be discussed, and therefore 2611 wasn't discussed, a paper was laid. There are several instances under the UPA when issues of important national security concerns where movements of troops and other intelligence details would have to be shared were not debated in Parliament. A statement was made. That procedure has been followed even this time. The conversation on these issues has taken place in India. India is a robust democracy with a robust media. I don't think the India Today group has censored any conversation of Rahul on this issue. And having said that, that is another issue. All I'm trying to focus on right now, Pooja, is Rahul Gandhi, an Indian MP, demanding foreign powers to intervene into our affairs.
Correct.
That's the limited scope of my tweet and my utterances.
Do you also think, yes, Shehzad, my final question here. Listen to what I'm asking also here, that yes, okay, he's made a comment, he's asking for foreign validation, there's criticism already coming on it. Do you think Rahul Gandhi would have done better than to go to Cambridge or to other universities than ferociously, aggressively campaign for the Congress party within the country? Because if the Congress was doing well and was in states, you wouldn't need to go abroad. You could actually change a lot of things that you need to as an opposition here in the country. And that's where often, like in northeastern states, Rahul Gandhi was missing.
But Pooja, if the people of India reject his party, is it my business to make his party do well so that he doesn't go abroad and betrays Bharat? I mean, that kind of argument I have never heard. Now, if the Northeast, out of 180 seats, gives this party a paltry 8 seats and says that we are no longer interested in the Congress, that is his business and his affair to sort out with the people and why the people are rejecting him. But having said that, my limited point once again on your platform is that can, especially an MP, demand foreign intervention in India's domestic affairs, internal affairs? Isn't this an assault on our sovereignty? This is all I'm asking. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, fair enough. Shehzad Poonawalla, yes, of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Thank you very much for speaking to India Today. So what the BJP has said is, how can you go and tell the United States of America and European Union that our democracy is dying and sort of, in a way, save us? It's an SOS message that I, as an opposition member of parliament, is sending out to you. Because we all know what foreign intervention has done to India, whether it's British colonialism or as recently a Pakistan-sponsored terrorism in Kashmir. But here's what happened. Rahul Gandhi, presently in United Kingdom, in London, after the Cambridge lecture, was speaking at the Indian Journalists Association. This is when he started to make these comments on camera, where he said that democracy appears to be dead and the United States of America and European nations, who are so-called defenders of democracy, are completely oblivious, or at least seem to a huge chunk of the democratic model that has fallen apart in India. He went on to say that opposition parties are battling for Indian democracy. Opposition has a vision of bringing people together, they're trying to unite people, but the BJP is breaking all of it. BJP, of course, slammed it and said this is betraying India's integrity and sovereignty on foreign soil. Listen in now to all the reactions that have been coming in from the BJP and the opposition parties on what Rahul Gandhi said.
So the surprising thing is that the so-called defenders of democracy, which are the United States, European countries, seem to just be oblivious that a huge chunk of the democratic model has come undone, right? Which is a real problem. With regards to, and frankly, the opposition is fighting that battle, right? And it's not just an Indian battle. It's actually a much more important battle. It is a battle for a huge part of the democratic people.
How would you react if democracy suddenly disappeared in Europe? Right? You'd be shocked and you'd be like, oh my God, that's a massive blow to democracy. Well, how would you react if something, a structure 3.5 times Europe suddenly went non-democratic? Right? That's happened already. That's not something that is going to happen in the future. That's already happened.
सत्ता से बाहर होने के बाद राहुल गांधी जिस तरीके से चीन को लेके उन्होंने अपना दोस्ताना रवैया अपना रखा है वो भारत जानता है। कम से कम अपनी राजनीति की प्रकाष्ठा को इतना ना गिराएं कि उनको लोग भूल जाएं।
ये तो अपनी पार्टी से लड़ रहे हैं वही बहुत है। इनके पार्टी के अंदर इतने सारे दुश्मन इनके खड़े हुए हैं कि एक कोई इंसाफ के लिए कोई लीगल एड बनाता है। मैं उनको भी कहता हूं कि भैया तुम किसी और के लिए इंसाफ मत करो। भारत में बहुत इंसाफ देने वाले लोग हैं, अपनी पार्टी को इंसाफ दिला लो।
So, what Rahul Gandhi said in London, let's try and understand what is the political showdown in domestic politics, in domestic arena, where the Congress party basically has to fight, contest elections and gain mass support. Ashutosh Mishra joining me in this live telecast. Ashutosh, what is it looking like within the country? Because while BJP is one by one campaigning in all states, trying to win elections, Rahul Gandhi is there addressing this lecture. How has he got support from opposition parties? Has he said this earlier? Do tell us about how the repercussions are here in the country.
Well, you heard it from Shahjad Poonawalla already calling it at anti-India, India bashing and of course such narrative. And this is what suits BJP the best, that unless, and that's exactly Rahul Gandhi while talking to the Indian Journalists Association in UK said that every time what I say is being twisted by the BJP. And in fact, when the questions was literally asked that why you made anti-India speeches. So what exact response was that whatever I said my lecture in Cambridge University, it was all about that what I say about the situation, about the government, but rather he gave a reference that I remember and I recall when Prime Minister visiting abroad said nothing been done in India after independence 70 years, everything was done in the last 10 years. It was the Prime Minister going abroad saying there is a huge corruption in India. That was the comment made by Rahul Gandhi saying, isn't it an insult to Indian who contributed for making this India at this scale in last 70 years, isn't it an insult to all these individuals? So that's exactly how the Rahul Gandhi responding on the foreign soil. When it comes to in India and in Indian politics, of course, the success of any leader or political party is always seen the amount of elections that you win and in the number of states you form the government. So clearly on that parameter, there will be criticism to Rahul Gandhi that you have a stand, you have an approach, always you criticize the government, but why not contesting election? Why not campaigning in poll-bound states? And that, more than that, of course, that question will be asked by the Congress party, by the experts. But when it comes to the BJP, they have already started setting a tune that everything that Rahul Gandhi said was not an anti-government, but it was anti-India. And this is something sentiment.
And the first reaction coming in from the BJP, not any opposition parties jumping in support. Ashutosh, stay on with me, because for the viewer tuning in right now, what exactly did Rahul Gandhi said? Let me compile it and break it down for you. Now, of course, the main target was Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the Bharatiya Janata Party, the RSS. But here's one by one. While speaking, this was after the Cambridge lecture, he was speaking in London at the Journalist Association and he questioned the Modi-led government. Now, he's a member of parliament, remember, from Wayanad in Kerala. And he said, I can come to give a talk in Cambridge, but I cannot deliver a talk in an Indian university because that's what Modi does not want. He, in fact, went on to say there is no concept of opposition anymore in the Indian Parliament. He even raked up the China issue, said Grand Old Party's leader has said it's shameful that Chinese are sitting in Indian territory, but the Indian government does not even allow a discussion on the same in the Parliament. He even slammed the RSS and said Rahul Gandhi added that right-wing organization that the RSS is in its heart a coward organization. It will run away if the enemy turns out stronger against India. So now an excerpt for you about all that Rahul Gandhi has said and a ground report by my colleague Lavina Tandon.
That an Indian political leader can give a talk in Cambridge University, Harvard University, but he can't give a talk in India, in a university in India. Right? And the reason is that our government simply does not allow any idea of the opposition, any concept of the opposition to be discussed. Same happens in Parliament House. When there are important things that we need to speak about, demonetization, GST, the fact that the Chinese are sitting inside our territory, when we try to raise these questions, we're not allowed to raise them in the House. It's a fact. It's shameful, but it's true. उनकी ideology में ये भी है. If someone is stronger, and the foreign minister of the country is saying it, you imagine he's saying China is stronger than us, so we can't fight with them. Achha, the British were stronger than us, so then we should not have fought with them. How would we ever get independence? How would we ever get independence if we had followed the BJP's principle and the RSS principle that if they're stronger than us, if they're stronger, then we don't fight them out. We would be still ruled by the British. Right? So at the heart of their idea is cowardice. On the other side, we have an ideology of hatred and violence, disrespectful ideology that attacks people because of their ideas. And you must have noticed one thing, and this isn't the nature of the BJP and the RSS. If you noticed a statement of the foreign minister, he said China is much more powerful than us. He said China is much more powerful than us. How can I pick a fight with them? Matlab, at the heart of the ideology is cowardice. अगर वो मुझसे कमजोर है तो मैं अपने 5-10 मित्रों के साथ उसको पीट दूंगा, मगर अगर वो आरएसएस वालों से तगड़ा है तो फिर भाग जाते हैं. और सावरकर ने अपनी किताब में लिखा है, अगर आपने पढ़ी हो, जो उनकी किताब है उसमें लिखा कि एक दिन उन्होंने और उनके 5-6 मित्रों ने एक मुसलमान व्यक्ति को पीटा और उस दिन उनको बहुत खुशी हुई. In the media we see anger, hatred, violence. Then we see Bollywood, Aishwarya Rai, Salman Khan, cricket. We see all these things, but we don't see the real issues that the people of India are facing. So that was quite a learning experience for me.
As Indians, we have to support Rahul Gandhi nowadays, and this is what India actually needs. People to come out and speak against the hatred and violence, and trying to include this kind of inclusivity, and trying to get together and build a good India that is built upon like love and care.
The whole speech was absolutely amazing, and Rahul Gandhi ji as a whole. But I would say that what I like about his leadership is that he's fearless and he speaks his mind, and he speaks for the country and the people, and he understands everyone's thoughts, and that's what
brilliant. Thanks. He connects with the people. For me, that is what matters the most. The connections that he drives with common people, the way he kind of talks to them. Even today in the interactions, he was talking to people, and that I think is the hallmark of a leader, and he kind of completely embraces that.
Many facets of the speech, people impressed with different facets of the speech, and they turned up in big numbers. One has to say over 1,000 people. We were told there were 2,000, close to 2,000 registrations, and a lot of them turned up. Some even were left behind because the hall was jam-packed. Going forward now, on Monday, Rahul Gandhi will be speaking in a committee room in the Parliament to some MPs and Lords and the members of the public, the attendees, and then at a think tank in London, Chatham House. Lavina Tandon for India Today from London.
So, of course, those were scathing remarks, and he had a share of supporters too on a foreign soil. What about the Indian connect that the Congress is actually losing in some states? Ashutosh Mishra continues to be with us in this telecast to help us understand the domestic politics of it currently on in the country. The concern, of course, is if this is asking for foreign intervention in some way, Ashutosh, but also is it about how Congress, eventually it has to be the opposition party, if it wants to be the BJP, will have to surface stronger, surface united. They don't have opposition unity for 2024. Congress is losing state elections one by one. Rahul Gandhi should be more present in domestic politics than he is at some of these universities. And that perhaps is raising that bigger concern. It's not as much what he has said, but how the Congress is not able to make that mass connect. Ashutosh.
Well, even if you make a mass connecting certain states, as I said, that how it is always measured about success of any political party or leader, which is exactly the number of elections that you win, and in the states, how many government you form, no matter how what coalition you opt out. But clearly, in that terms, the Congress always been criticized that every time you make scathing attack against the Prime Minister Modi, against the BJP, it always backfires. But in certain states, they also win. So that's exactly why they're going to be a litmus test. You have now a new party president, and you have a state where there could be possibly anti-incumbency state like Karnataka. Then you have a 3 Hindi heartland states. And until unless you make success in these states, clearly Congress may not be in a position to lead any coalition or any such alliance. And that's exactly why the regional parties you see having more power and largely bargaining. And when you have ambitious leader like Mamta Banerjee, then you have a Nitish Kumar, you have Arvind Kejriwal, and then lot more other leaders. So that's what the question every day is asking, whether they're going to accept Rahul Gandhi as a leader of the coalition, leader of the alliance. But you remember the statement in Raipur that Mallikarjun Kharge made, that there will be a coalition against the BJP in 2024 led by the Congress. And of course, he also saying that Rahul Gandhi will lead this platform. So on that, we have to see whether they're going to be really unity, because in different states there are different dynamics. One party which is coach our rival in Delhi, in other states they join your meeting when it comes to the parliament or a national level. So in this different very kind of dynamics, that makes really things very challenging. So whatever he is making, and of course it is for now setting a tone for a political battle which is way ahead. But for now, of course, those challenges continues to be for the Congress and as well as Rahul Gandhi.
Ashutosh Mishra, thank you so much for the latest coming in. So is this a smart strategy, a self-goal? Is it justified, or perhaps it is only going to prove how Congress cannot manage the metal here, trying to reach out for foreign intervention? We let the viewer decide on that. It's a developing story. Ashutosh Mishra with the latest here in Delhi. Lavina Tandon from the UK. Thank you so much, Ashutosh, for now. A shocking remark that has come from Karnataka BJP chief Katil coming in on Rahul Gandhi. The words that he's used is with regard to what Rahul Gandhi had been saying whether it's in Cambridge lecture or now in London. Karnataka BJP Neta Katil insults not just the Congress party but used a shocking word about Rahul Gandhi. He calls Rahul Gandhi impotent. He says that the reason Rahul Gandhi is not getting married because he cannot produce children. Listen into what Katil has said.
ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಹೇಳಿದರು ಲಸಿಕೆ ತಗೋಬೇಡಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳಾಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಲಸಿಕೆ ತಗೋಬೇಡಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳಾಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಲಸಿಕೆ ತಗೋಬೇಡಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳಾಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೆ ರಾತ್ರಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಕದ್ದು ಲಸಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೊನ್ನೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಂಜುನಾಥ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವಂಥ ಒಬ್ಬ MLC ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಮದುವೆ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಹೇಗೂ ಮಕ್ಕಳಾಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಹೇಳಿದರು ಲಸಿಕೆ ತಗೋಬೇಡಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳಾಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಲಸಿಕೆ ತಗೋಬೇಡಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳಾಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಲಸಿಕೆ ತಗೋಬೇಡಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳಾಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೆ ರಾತ್ರಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಕದ್ದು ಲಸಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೊನ್ನೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಂಜುನಾಥ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವಂಥ ಒಬ್ಬ MLC ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಮದುವೆ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಹೇಗೂ ಮಕ್ಕಳಾಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ.
Let's bring in my colleague Anaga Keshav in this live telecast this morning. Anaga, it's not just about political discourse that's downgrading in Karnataka as elections approach, but it's somehow Katil that makes most of these weird comments.
Well, that's right, Pooja. And these comments coming from such a tall leader like Naveen Kumar Katil, who happens to be the state's BJP president, they are absolutely low-level, distasteful and very derogatory. Remember, he's making such personal attacks on Rahul Gandhi. And not only that, in another soundbite, he had also mentioned that, if still today Congress was in power, D.K. Shivkumar, Siddaramaiah and Surjewala, they would have been in graveyard by now. These are the kind of low-level remarks that Naveen Kumar Katil is making. And remember, this is not the first time. He is known to be a motor mouth, and even in the past, he has continuously been making communally polarizing statements. And now it has just stooped to another low level by making such very uncalled for personal remarks against Rahul Gandhi. But even the citizens in Karnataka here, they don't seem to be having a very good opinion on Nalin Kumar Katil. What opinion they have about the other leaders in BJP is completely different from what they have on Nalin Kumar Katil. But it is yet to be watched how Nalin Kumar Katil's statements is going to have an impact on citizens when they go for elections.
Right, thank you so much, Anaga Keshav, for the latest. And what she said is actually very correct, because whether these sort of provocative comments work for a party to win elections or whether it will backfire completely. Second encounter has taken place in Uttar Pradesh's Prayagraj, this with regard to the Umesh Pal murder case. Remember the lawyer who was killed on spot by at least 6 to 7 gunmen on February 24th in Prayagraj, and after which Yogi Adityanath had not only alleged a Samajwadi Party had said, mafia ko mitti mein mila denge. Now the deceased gangster, who has been shot dead actually, has been identified as Vijay A.K.A Usman Chowdhury. So the alias there of 2 names. He already had a bounty of about 50,000 rupees over his head. Now, according to the police, he was the first to fire at Umesh Pal. You can see the visual on your screen. He was difficult to identify, but eventually the identity was cleared. What you're looking at, what has unfolded since February 24th on your screen. This is the second such encounter. Uttar Pradesh police encountered another shooter, Arbaz, last Tuesday. Now, Umesh Pal, just to give you a background, was the key witness in the 2005 BSP MLA Raju Pal murder case. He even had an armed gunner who was also shot at on 24th February. But not only shootouts, Prayagraj Development Authority has been, as they call it, cracking down on illegal structures and built by people linked to Atiq Ahmed, the gangster who has been in jail and has now been accused of connection with the killing of Umesh Pal despite being in prison. So encounter justice, bulldozer justice as per Uttar Pradesh government.
पुलिस और एसटीएफ लगातार लगी हुई है, विवेचना जारी है, धरपकड़ जारी है और कल की जो घटना है आप जानते हैं कि इतने दुर्दांत हत्यारे हैं कि पुलिस पर भी हमला करने से बाज नहीं आ रहे हैं और पुलिस ने जवाबी कार्रवाई में एक और अपराधी को ढेर किया है। हमारी पुलिस एसटीएफ लगातार सक्रियता के साथ छापे डाल रही है, एक एक अपराधी को सजा मिलेगी, हमारी प्रतिबद्धता है।
ये उस्मान पेशेंट था और ये ब्रॉड डेड आया हुआ है हमारे हॉस्पिटल में और इसको हमने ईसीजी करवा के और जो भी एग्जामिनेशन होते हैं करवा के और अभी इसको डिक्लेयर किया गया है और इसको मर्चरी भेज दिया गया है। उसमें गोली के निशान। कितने स्पॉट है? इसके 2 स्पॉट अभी दिखे थे।
बीजेपी का मुख्यालय से बताया गया था कि इस घटना में शामिल किसी भी व्यक्ति को बख्शा नहीं जाएगा, सबको कानून के हवाले किया जाएगा। लगातार हमारी टीम में काम कर रही थी और ये शातिर नामिया बदमाश जो कि हमारे पुलिस वालों पे भी फायर किया था, आज सुबह कौंडियारा क्षेत्र में एक साहसिक मुठभेड़ के दौरान घायल हुआ था और उसके बाद से इसे जब इलाज के दौरान अस्पताल ले जाया गया तो वहां इसकी मृत्यु हुई है और इसको उस्मान माफिया ने बनाया था और इसके कारण ही इसने जघन्य हत्याकांड में हिस्सा लिया था।
So you heard what the BJP and the government reactions and the police reactions were. Let me now bring you what the opposition is saying. At the center of this controversy was Yogi Adityanath charging at Akhilesh Yadav, saying Samajwadi Party ka haath hai behind all this gangster wars. Joining me now, Samajwadi Party spokesperson IP Singh on the phone line. Mr. IP Singh, what do you call this? Because Uttar Pradesh government says this is encounter justice, this is bulldozer justice. How do you react to this second encounter?
देखिए, उत्तर प्रदेश में अराजकता का माहौल है, उत्तर प्रदेश में गुंडा राज है, उत्तर प्रदेश में जंगल राज है। पिछले 6 वर्षों से बड़े बड़े वादे मुख्यमंत्री जी करते हैं, सदन में झूठ बोलते हैं, अपोजिशन पर आरोप लगाते हैं। ये वही भारतीय जनता पार्टी, वही मुख्यमंत्री हैं जो कहते हैं कि अपराधी थर थर कांप रहे हैं, उत्तर प्रदेश छोड़कर चले गए हैं, गले में तख्ती लटका कर वो सब्जी बेच रहे हैं। आखिर ये अराजकता, ये गुंडागर्दी जो लगातार उत्तर प्रदेश में हो रही है और बीजेपी सरकार पूरी तरह फेल है। अपराधियों के ऊपर कड़ी से कड़ी कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए। आपको बताना चाहता हूं कि जब समाजवादी पार्टी की सरकार थी तो दुर्दांत ददुआ का इनकाउंटर किया गया था। सूरजपाल यादव 36 से ज्यादा हत्याएं किया था, उसका इनकाउंटर हुआ था। रमेश कालिया यादव, उसका इनकाउंटर हुआ था। तो उत्तर प्रदेश में जो देश पुलिस बल है वो देश का सबसे बड़ा बल है और हम उम्मीद करते हैं, आशा करते हैं कि अपराधियों पर कड़ी से कड़ी कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए। लेकिन जिस बुलडोजर कल्चर की बात आप कर रहे हैं, तो मैं प्रधानमंत्री जी से, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी से आग्रह करना चाहूंगा कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट में ताला डाल दें, जो माननीय हाई कोर्ट है उसमें ताला डाल दें और निचली अदालतों में ताला डाल देना चाहिए, क्योंकि बुलडोजर संस्कृति चला होने का मतलब देश के संविधान पर बुलडोजर चलाना।
IP सिंह जी, जरा हमारे साथ बने रहिए क्योंकि बीजेपी के शलभमणि त्रिपाठी भी हमारे साथ है, जो MLA हैं, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के एडवाइजर रहे हैं योगी आदित्यनाथ के साथ भी। शलभमणि त्रिपाठी, यहाँ पे IP सिंह तो कह रहे हैं अराजकता है, कोर्ट में ताला लगा दीजिए और ऐसे ही अराजकता फैलाइए।
अब देखिए कितनी परेशानी है वो आप देख ही सकती हैं कि अपराधी मारे जा रहे हैं, माफिया मारे जा रहे हैं, उनकी अवैध संपत्तियों पर बुलडोजर चल रहा है, एनकाउंटर्स हो रहे हैं, एनकाउंटर में क्रिमिनल ढेर हो रहे हैं। तो समाजवादी पार्टी की तकलीफ हम लोग समझ सकते हैं कि समाजवादी पार्टी जिसने गली के गुंडों को उठा के मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट बना दिया, विधायक बना दिया, तो समाजवादी पार्टी को कष्ट होगा, क्योंकि अपराधियों पर गोली चलती है तो तकलीफ अपराधियों के रिश्तेदारों को होती है, उनके करीबियों को होती है, उनके शुभचिंतकों को होती है। तो तकलीफ समाजवादी पार्टी की हम समझ सकते हैं।
बट शलभमणि त्रिपाठी, ये सवाल तो उठ रहा है, ये उठ रहा है कि एनकाउंटर क्यों जरूरी है, अरेस्ट नहीं होना चाहिए? क्या एनकाउंटर जस्टिस और बुलडोजर जस्टिस नॉर्म बन जाएगा? इंस्टीट्यूशंस भी तो हैं, उस पर क्या कहेंगे आप? ऑपोजिशन इसी पे आपको अटैक कर रही है, आपकी पार्टी को।
तो मुझे लगता है कि आप भी महत्वपूर्ण जगह पे बैठी हैं और आपको भी थोड़ी कानून की जानकारी होगी और जो लोग सवाल उठा रहे हैं उनको भी जानकारी होगी। डिफेंस का अधिकार हर किसी को, आत्मरक्षा का अधिकार हर किसी को है। और ये जो व्यक्ति मारा गया है, जो उस्मान चौधरी, पुलिस ने जब घेराबंदी की तो पुलिस ने उससे अपील की कि भाई हथियार फेंक दो, सरेंडर कर दो, कानून के दायरे में आ जाओ, लेकिन वो गोली चलाने लगा। पुलिस ने समझाया कि भाई हथियार छोड़ दो, गोली मत चलाओ, गोली चलाओगे तो किसी को लग जाएगी, पर वो गोली चलाता रहा। तो ऐसे में पुलिस के सामने विकल्प यही था कि फूल तो पुलिस फेंकती नहीं, तो उसका माल्यार्पण तो करती नहीं, तो पुलिस ने भी गोली चलाई अपनी आत्मरक्षा में। और आपने देखा है सीसीटीवी में कैसे गोली चलाने का आदी है। तो जो आप गोली चलाते हो, जो बम फेंकते हो, उनको आप माल्यार्पण करके उनको आप नहीं पकड़ सकते, आपकी मजबूरी होती है। और पुलिस को भी आत्मरक्षा का अधिकार है, जैसे आपको है, जैसे IP सिंह साहब को है, जैसे मुझे है, कि आत्मरक्षा का अधिकार हर एक व्यक्ति को कानून ने दिया है। और आत्मरक्षा के अधिकार के तहत पुलिस ने गोली चलाई है, तो ये उस्मान चौधरी मारा गया है। जो बाकी अपराधी भी हैं, जो कहीं भी छुपे हो, नेपाल हो, कहीं भी हो, पाताल से ढूंढ कर लाएंगे। और जो कहा था ना कि मिट्टी में मिलाएंगे, तो मिट्टी में मिलाने का अभियान जारी रहेगा।
तो इसमें अतीक अहमद का जो नाम आ रहा है, गैंगस्टर हैं, पार्टियों से भी जुड़े रहे हैं, SP, BSP, तो उनका भी वो भी अब जो नया मुद्दा आ रहा है. But Chalamani Tripathi, thank you so much for joining us right now for your views. So he says it's understandable, it's justified. This is self-defense, as he's calling it. Deputy Chief Minister Brajesh Pathak speaking to Samarth Srivastava, my colleague.
हमारे साथ इस मामले में बातचीत करने के लिए मौजूद हैं उत्तर प्रदेश के हरे
Just go across to that conversation. Brajesh Pathak is the Deputy Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, and you'd a short while ago heard what he had said. This was after the second encounter. Samarth Srivastava speaking to Deputy CM. Samarth, over to you.
सभी अपराधियों को प्रयागराज वाले मामले में कानून के तहत कड़ी से कड़ी सजा देने के लिए प्रतिबद्ध है। अपराधी कितने दुर्दांत हैं कि वो पुलिस पर भी हमला करने से बाज नहीं आ रहे हैं और इस मामले में एक एक अपराधी को पकड़ करके उसे सजा मिलेगी, हमारी प्रतिबद्धता है।
एडीजी लॉ एंड ऑर्डर ने आज तक को बताया है कि उसका धर्म परिवर्तन अति गैंग ने करवाया था। पहले उसका नाम विजय था, फिर उसका उस्मान हो गया।
अब ये जानकारी मुझे नहीं है, लेकिन इस अपराध के मामले में दूध का दूध पानी का पानी होगा। एक एक अपराधी को पकड़ा जाएगा और कड़ी से कड़ी सजा मिलेगी।
हमने कहा था मिट्टी में मिला देंगे, क्या लगता है आपको वो चीज?
हमारी प्रतिबद्धता है, एक एक अपराधी पकड़ा जाएगा और कड़ी से कड़ी सजा।
आखिरी सवाल मेरा है, समाजवादी पार्टी ने कहा है कि अगर यही सबको इनकाउंटर करने तो कोर्ट बंद कर देना चाहिए। अभी समाजवादी पार्टी के
देखिए, पुलिस पर जो हमला करेगा, पुलिस ने जवाबी कार्रवाई में मारा।
तो ये था हमारे साथ उप मुख्यमंत्री ब्रजेश पाठक और उन्होंने बताया है कि जवाबी कार्रवाई में पुलिस ने हमला किया है और इसके चलते ही इनकाउंटर किया गया। कैमरामैन नीरज कुमार के साथ समर्थ श्रीवास्तव, लखनऊ, आज तक।
All right, so that's the Deputy Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Brajesh Pathak, speaking to my colleague. Now, this, remember, is becoming a huge showdown. Like you just heard, Samajwadi Party saying this is anarchy. Lock the Supreme Court and the court. Interestingly, he also said that even during SP's regime, they had done the encounters. But right now, he feels this is, in many ways, jumping over the authority, to which the BJP leaders are saying, this is justified, this is self-defense. And what do you want and how do you want the gangsters to be dealt with?
कि जिस अतीक अहमद के खिलाफ पीड़ित परिवारों ने मुकदमा दर्ज कराया उसके परिवार के खिलाफ, वो समाजवादी पार्टी के द्वारा पोषित माफिया है और उसकी कमर को तोड़ने का काम हमारी सरकार ने किया है। और फिर मैं कह रहा हूं, इसे इस माफिया को मिट्टी में मिला देंगे। सरकार किसी है, सरकार किसी है, दखलत में हो, ये माफिया है, इनको मिट्टी में मिलाने का काम करेंगे। अपराधी आप लोग हैं, अपराधी को भी दूर कर अपराधी।
So, India Today getting you all sides of this big story. Second encounter in Uttar Pradesh, the model of encounter justice that these mafia raj will not be tolerated in Yogi Adityanath regime. But Samajwadi Party and opposition are asking, this is not the right way to go. There have to be institutions that you need to follow for conviction. What's happening? Let's get an update from our ground reporters. Pankaj Srivastava is at the encounter site where this second individual accused, whose name is Vijay alias Usman. And Santosh Sharma is at the Prayagraj hospital where the doctors declared dead for this accused who was shot in the encounter. First to you, Pankaj, what is, do take us through the encounter site. किस तरह का यह एरिया है, क्या ये प्रयागराज रूरल में पड़ता है, किस तरह से ये एनकाउंटर होता है, हमें डिटेल्स दीजिए।
इसके पास ये एनकाउंटर जो मुठभेड़ हुई है और इस मुठभेड़ में उस्मान नाम का जो बदमाश है उसको इस मुठभेड़ में मार गिराया है। और ये बताया जाता है कि उमेश पाल को पहले गोली उस्मान ने की। अब पुलिस लगातार इसकी खोज करेगी और यहाँ पर सड़वा के पास ही 20 किलोमीटर के इसका गाँव है, यहाँ पर पुलिस ने घेराबंदी कर रखी थी और उसको ये पता था कि गाँव में वो आने वाला है। पुलिस ने जब इसको रोका तो उसने अवैध हथियार से फायरिंग की और जवाबी कार्रवाई में उस्मान को गोली लगी, उसको हॉस्पिटल भेजा गया और हॉस्पिटल में उसको घोषित कर दिया गया। तो पुलिस की कार्रवाई लगातार चल रही है और अपराधियों माफियाओं को
हमारे साथ बने रहिए पंकज. I want to go across now to Santosh Sharma. He's at the hospital in Prayagraj. It's a well-known hospital where he was initially brought with wounds and injuries, but then he was declared dead by the doctors. Santosh, over to you.
He is we can say, the first shooter who shot firstly on Umesh Pal when he was coming out of his car, and he was only shooter whose identification was not being cleared first. Even on yesterday also, police didn't know what is his crime history and from where he belongs. But due to surveillance and from his local supports, police got information about Vijay A.K.A Usman Chaudhary. A call had been intercepted by the Prayagraj SOG team, and after that this encounter happened at Kaundhiyara area, that is the rural area of Prayagraj, outskirt of the Prayagraj, where he was hiding from that day of incident, that is the 24th of February. From that day, this Vijay A.K.A Usman Chaudhary was hiding in that rural area, but today at early morning around 4 a.m. this encounter happened, and two bullets had been shot, and doctors declared him shot dead. So we can say the first shooter who shot first bullet on Umesh Pal being gunned down, he has been shot dead by Prayagraj police.
All right, Santosh Sharma and Pankaj Srivastava with the latest coming in from Prayagraj, where this encounter has taken place. Heading into a very short break, so leaving you with this big story of Uttar Pradesh, of bulldozer justice, encounter justice, and Yogi Adityanath's message to say mafia will not be accepted, and that this is how Uttar Pradesh will be kept safe. Heading into a short break, see you out on the other side.
जैसे सबसे तेज आपकी टैगलाइन है, तो इसी तरह से सबसे तेज हमारी सरकार की लाइफलाइन है.
Leader must have a vision.
We will continue to work with the developing and the developed world for win-win solutions.
Nature had of course willed the survival of the fittest.
हम आतंकवाद के खिलाफ जीरो टॉलरेंस की पॉलिसी को अपनाए हुए हैं.
एक साल के अंदर राहुल कन्वर की कार जो होगी वो इलेक्ट्रिक की होगी.
There is a confrontation of competing visions.
It's Edith Childs. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
And suddenly I hear in the background, fired up. And everybody acts like this is normal, and they all shout, fired up. And then after that, ready to go. And everybody says, ready to go. And I look back and I see this woman smiling who has been leading this chant. And it turns out her name is Edith Child. And that chant, eventually, we do in front of 100,000 people at huge rallies as the campaign went on.
I don't know about you, but I'm fired up.
Fired up! Ready to go! Edith, hit it!
Fired up.
Fired up!
Ready to go.
Ready to go!
Edith Child shows you what one voice can do. One voice can change a room. And if it can change a room, it can change a city. And if it can change a city, it can change a state. And if it can change a state, it can change a nation. And if it can change a nation, it can change the world.
live in is rapidly changing, and at the forefront of this change is the rise of artificial intelligence and machine learning tools.
My name is Sophia, and I am an artificially intelligent robot who wants to help change the world for the better.
From intelligent personal assistants like Siri and Alexa to self-driving cars, these tools are revolutionizing the way we live, work, and interact with the world around us. The recent addition to this has been ChatGPT, which very quickly took the world by surprise. It was an OpenAI's ChatGPT that made us realize that robots and AI will not only take over technical jobs, but can very well come after creative jobs as well. It was Meesho's founder, Vijay A.K.A, who with this observation got us all thinking about what AI can really come after. Until now, with its human-trained model, ChatGPT has been able to write and direct a movie or a book. It's even cleared competitive exams, where on one hand there's a fear of AI takeover, on the other there is enhancement through AI in the field of education. AI-powered tools are helping students learn in new and innovative ways. Where ChatGPT is texting us our solutions, its parent body OpenAI, founded by internet's favorite Elon Musk, has another tool that's been the cause of fear, and that is DALL-E. A creative tool that can make an image from a user's text inputs is simply made to blow minds, but that's not all what it does. It also edits photographs, generating AI versions of the same picture. With the infusion of such tools, it's essential to prepare for the possibility of job loss. Job losses may be mitigated by investing in education and training for new roles. Additionally, it's crucial to consider ethical implications of AI tools and ensure that they're used in a responsible and ethical manner. But the misuse of AI in education is what could potentially damage the future. American philosopher Noam Chomsky believes the only contribution AI or a tool like ChatGPT can really have in the education sector is by promoting high-tech plagiarism. In the wake of rising cases of plagiarism and reliance on ChatGPT by students for their assignments, Sciences Po, one of France's top universities, has banned the use of OpenAI-funded chatbot. Along with France, some public schools in New York City and Seattle have also implemented the ban, while some US-based universities are shifting focus from homework assessments to handwritten essays and oral exams.
Manish Sisodia, CBI custody ends today. The CBI, of course, would want an extension of the custody, while lawyers for representing Sisodia will want him out. Now, this is why perhaps the situation is going to turn more difficult. According to the Central Bureau of Investigation, it appears that former Deputy CM now, Manish Sisodia, is evasive in the questioning that is being done over the liquor excise policy scam allegations. Sisodia will be produced before the Rouse Avenue court at 2 p.m. Agency may seek extension of the custody. As per sources, agency wants to utilize Sisodia's custody to locate a crucial missing file that they believe contains legal opinion on the expert committee recommendations on the policy. And it must be added that if the extension is not granted, then Sisodia will be sent to Tihar jail. Sisodia's bail application is to be heard on 10th of March because till then it is also the Holi festival vacation. Meanwhile, the Aam Aadmi Party has slammed the government of the centre, claiming Sisodia is being tortured by the CBI. Aam Aadmi Party is claiming that there is deliberate pressure being put on him to sign certain documents and with false charges. We are expecting an Aam Aadmi Party protest at about 11 a.m. I correct myself, actually the BJP is planning to stage a protest against Aam Aadmi Party.
ना सिर्फ मनीष सिसोदिया जी के वकील ने, मनीष सिसोदिया जी ने खुद कोर्ट में कहा कि उनको मेंटली टॉर्चर किया जा रहा है। इस सीबीआई के पास मनीष सिसोदिया जी के खिलाफ 1 रुपए के भी भ्रष्टाचार का सबूत नहीं है, लेकिन अपने राजनीतिक आकाओं को खुश करने के लिए सीबीआई ने उन्हें अरेस्ट कर लिया। इसलिए वो मनीष सिसोदिया पे मानसिक दबाव बना रहे हैं, मानसिक प्रताड़ना कर रहे हैं कि वो एक फॉल्स कन्फेशन साइन करें और वो मान लें कि उन्होंने भ्रष्टाचार किया है।
ऐसे साधु हैं जो दिल्ली के हर स्कूल के बगल में एक दारू की दुकान खोलते थे, हर मंदिर और गुरुद्वारे और धार्मिक स्थलों के बाहर वह दारू की दुकान खोल रहे थे, एक के साथ एक बोतल फ्री की स्कीम ले आए थे। ऐसे साधु महात्मा हैं। ऐसे साधु महात्मा थे जिन्होंने दारू वालों की, ठेकेदारों की कमीशन 5% से बढ़ाकर 12% कर दी, जिन्होंने उम्र 21 साल से कम करके 18 साल 21 साल से कम करके 18 साल कर दी, जो उन्होंने दारू सुबह 3 तक बेचने की छूट दे दी या पिलाने की छूट दे दी। तो इस प्रकार के साधु महात्मा है। असल में क्या है कि सच ये है कि अब उनके पास जवाब बनता नहीं, इसलिए वो शिक्षा की बात करते हैं। और शिक्षा में भी जो सच है कि दिल्ली में 1054 स्कूल हैं, जिसमें से 800 से ज़्यादा स्कूलों में प्रिंसिपल नहीं है और 400 से ज़्यादा स्कूलों में वाइस प्रिंसिपल नहीं है।
So while the Aam Aadmi Party government is facing this tremors in Delhi, Kejriwal is giving out reactions on Chhattisgarh. Remember, Chhattisgarh is facing elections in just about the next few months. He's attacked Chief Minister Baghel, the Congress party specifically, apart from targeting the BJP. Interestingly, Arvind Kejriwal has said that the Congress promised that they will not be really entertaining the Adani group. But right now, Baghel and Adani have become literally cousins with each other, the manner in which projects have been given. He's also cautioning, and he says that Chhattisgarh is plagued with mafia and Congress will take 1,500 years to repair 45,000 schools. He's also alleged that if Congress is elected back to government in Chhattisgarh, they will sell all the forest land in the state to the Adanis. This after the grand old party, remember, in Delhi had attacked Aam Aadmi Party and said Sisodia's arrest is an open and shut case accusing Aam Aadmi Party of corruption. Sisodia is a saint, says Kejriwal, and took a dig at Prime Minister Modi, asking him to be ashamed of himself for what they are doing to the Education Minister. Slamming Prime Minister, Aam Aadmi Party national convener said families of 18 lakh students in Delhi schools will curse Prime Minister Modi for putting Sisodia behind bars.
भूपेश बघेल, टी.एस. सिंहदेव, राहुल गांधी तीनों आए थे यहाँ पे, जनता को यहाँ पे वचन देके गए थे हमारी सरकार बनी हम अडानी से वापस लेंगे कोयले की खदान, बोला था। जैसे ही इनकी सरकार बनी कांग्रेस की, इन्होंने पहले अडानी के पास एक फेज था, इन्होंने दूसरा फेज भी अडानी को दे दिया। ये आपका कब से बन गया? वो बोला भाई हमारा इनसे कोई रिश्ता नहीं है, हमारा रिश्ता है तो केवल जनता के साथ रिश्ता है। कर्नाटक में पहले कांग्रेस की सरकार थी, उसको 20% कमीशन वाली सरकार कहते थे, उनके टाइम में 20% कमीशन लगता था। डबल इंजन की सरकार का मतलब डबल भ्रष्टाचार, डबल कमीशन। अगर 40% कमीशन की सरकार चाहिए तो उनको वोट दे देना, 0% कमीशन की सरकार चाहिए तो आम आदमी पार्टी को वोट देना। शानदार बना दिया सरकारी स्कूल मनीष सिसोदिया, इसीलिए तो उसको गिरफ्तार किया। मनीष सिसोदिया चोर थोड़ी है, चोर तो नहीं है। अरे इतना संत महात्मा आदमी, उसको तुमने उठा के जेल में डाल दिया। मोदी जी शर्म करो थोड़ी सी, पाप लगेगा, हाय लगेगी। उन 18 लाख बच्चे दिल्ली में, 18 लाख गरीबों के बच्चे, उन 18 लाख परिवारों की हाय लगेगी मोदी जी आपको।
So right, that of course is a fresh strategy by Arvind Kejriwal to now target the Congress party in Chhattisgarh government. It's a wrap from me for now. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourself, but always stay tuned to India Today. IndiaToday.in is where you can find all the latest news. Thank you for watching. Take care.
Well, speaking of showstoppers, here at the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, I made a new friend, 177 centimeters tall. That's actually shorter than me, but he's standing on a pedestal. The Cyber One, a humanoid robot from Xiaomi. Comes along with the Cyber Dog right over there, a quadruped which can do quite a few neat tricks. But speaking about the Cyber One, the humanoid, Xiaomi actually pipped Elon Musk and his tweets to making this humanoid robot which can recognize a bunch of expressions, emotions by human beings, has all sorts of AI and facial recognition tech inbuilt in it. But that's not all Xiaomi's working on. While this is a showstopper with everyone actually coming to the Xiaomi stall for this, this is what Xiaomi launched here in Barcelona. In fact, we were at the pre-launch event where we found out where this floating telephoto mechanism with this Leica lens, not just a gimmick, and I'll tell you more about that in a bit, but co-engineered with Leica, not just like the other brands who essentially are talking about color science and just some small little marketing partnership. The team that actually worked on this partnership did have an exclusive conversation with Tech Today where we wanted to ask them what they are doing with this device. An absolutely stellar camera. You're going to see a review very soon, but here's a few camera samples on the screen. You have a nice, neat little watermark, and whilst I'm talking, you have Cyber Dog following me around. I think he's taken a liking for me. But that's not all. If you walk around the Xiaomi booth right over here, you see that they've been building on an ecosystem with a smart living room, a smart kitchen, and these are popular products all across the world. A smart workspace as well, something they've been talking about, barring all the special edition phones and some of these interesting Redmi devices as well, is actually their mobility or their smart outdoors department, where they've been speaking about an electric scooter. Now, this is something that I think can be a game changer when brands start working on this in a wide-scale way in India, but we'll need regulations to figure out how e-scooters being shared will actually work out. I think it's fascinating what's happening in the tech world. This has been one of the show-stopping moments at the Mobile World Congress. And of course, we have my dear friend, the Cyber Dog, saying hello to all the viewers of Tech Today.
Well, Mr. Chandra, Tata Motors sales in January was about 6.4% up at 81,069 units. With El Nino fears coming up, do you think the rural sales would be impacted with the fears?
As I said, that electrification is a very new category, and participation of competition and more players in this space is only going to expand the market. So I think, there can be a slight